Hello everybody, it's Vincent Grosso and welcome to another episode of my channel. This is part 8 of my visually impaired life series. And today I want to talk about the Association for the Blind, I want to talk about occupational therapy and mobility training, plus other things. So here we go. So, I did not want a white cane. I was embarrassed by it. I didn't want anything to do with it. I was holding on to what vision I still had left. So what did I do? I fell in a hole. I fell down a couple stairs in my house. I, bumped into things. I walked into my wall. A lot of blind moments, right? Well, I could make them a lot easier by getting a cane. So I miss curbs, level changes. Oh my god, I'm worse with level changes than I could ever be with a curb. Sometimes I could see curbs because I could see the contrast change from the ground depending on what the color of the concrete and the sidewalk is. So sometimes I could see curbs. So, but level changes, never. I never see level changes, and I will trip going up a short little level because they just get me that bad. I drag my feet, I guess. So, um, I have blotchy lower peripheral vision, and one day I was going to the doctor's office and I wasn't paying attention because I was not realizing how much I was looking at my feet because I was always tripping up on things. And I walked almost through caution tape and into a scissor lift that was operational. My mom stopped me, but I knew then my mom was freaking out, and I knew then I needed a cane. So I asked the doctor. They sent me to a drugstore to see if I could find one there because they thought they had them and they didn't. They're not something you can just find at a drugstore. So they gave me a phone number, and I called it, and it was a place called Future in Sight. Now, that is the Association for the Blind in New Hampshire. At the time, I didn't even know they existed. I wasn't even, the thought of going to an Association for the Blind didn't even occur to me. All I was thinking about was my dilemma and woe is me and all those goodies. So I called asking if I could buy a cane. And then they talked to me and said, well, tell you what, I'll do you one even better. I'm going to come over to your house on Wednesday because I'm sure you're not going to work or not, whatever. I'm going to come over, we're going to talk, and then that's that. And I agreed. So they came over, they told me what they were all about, told me all the help they could do for me, and they made me all these promises. And what happened? They accomplished each and every one. I gotta say it. They did each and every promise so far. Knock on wood. They've been awesome. Fantastic. Now, if you are someone that's visually impaired, if you're someone that's blind, if you just start going visually impaired, if you just start going blind, or if you've been blind or been visually impaired and you've never gone to an association, you better pick up your phone or pick up your computer, your phone, or whatever. Google the address, the phone number, whatever. Get your butt up. Stop being lazy. Call them because it made a huge impact in my life. And I'm going to tell you why. So, number one, I got free occupational therapy. If you don't know what occupational therapy is, that's when someone helps you live an easier, more independent life through training. So, she showed me magnification. She showed me the e-sight glasses, like electronic devices. I got to see CCTVs. I got to learn about bump dots, things to make it easier in my house, stuff like that. They had like a prop kitchen there where you get to like play around with everything, and it's just fantastic. And I learned a lot through that. They gave me a free CC television, by the way, and now I gotta add, they're a non-profit organization. So what they do is all nonprofits have to make money. Am I correct? So they will try to sell you things. That's just what they do. But they don't, at least this one didn't pressure me. And they were complaining about funds and stuff like that, but they still, didn't pressure me. And the only funds they're complaining about, just to clarify, was just, the amount of money they can give to everybody. They want to give so much, but they can't. That's all I'm talking about. But they still, they tried selling me a CCTV for monthly installments, monthly payments. I told them I couldn't afford it. Didn't harp on me once, not once. They said, all right. They said, well, we can always do half off on that if that's better. And I said, no, I can't afford that. So what did they do? Instead of trying to upsell me or whatever, they're like, well, come downstairs with me. And they took me downstairs and they showed me 4 CCTVs. They asked me which one I liked. And I said, oh, that one's pretty cool. They said, you're taking it home. It's free. So it was an older model. They sell new ones, but they had older models, and they gave me one because they're that awesome. Thank you, Future Insight, by the way. And just, I'm going to tell you, I tried everything. Magnification didn't work. eSight didn't work. Um, uh, magnified glasses, reading glasses. None of that works for me because I have nerve damage. So it's just, my eyes are healthy. So I just see through this filter. And no matter what magnification I use, I still see the same filter in front of my eyes. So it's just magnifying things, but I still covered, in other words, by the filter of pixels and blemishes and blots and all these rainbows and sparkles and fireworks, you name it. But anyway, so they gave it to me and I was psyched. And you know what? Instead of looking at one piece of a letter or a number, I was able to read a whole entire number on my credit card, and I could do one at a time. And I paid my first bill in 4 months, and I cried paying a bill because, yeah, it makes you sound like a baby. I don't care because you know what? I always paid the bills in my house, and then I had a 360 and turn it over to my wife. And when I could finally do it myself again, I broke down. So just that one thing is amazing. So, and it was free. So that was occupational therapy, and I still got more visits, but I'll get to that. So then there was mobility training. They introduced me to mobility instructor, and like I said, I already bought a cane because I was impatient. But if I didn't buy that cane, they would have gave me a cane for free, the same exact cane I purchased too, an Ambutech, and which is an awesome, phenomenal cane. But I was impatient and I bought the cane and everything. But if I didn't, like I said, they would have bought it for me. But they moved ahead. They made sure I had the right length cane, which luckily I bought the right length cane, and for my height, because even that makes a difference. So I would really look into that first. I could have been wrong and wasted money. But they took me places, took me down to the town closest to my neighborhood. Then it was another town next to mine. They have they got sidewalk stuff. Where I live, it's just woods and dirt roads. So they took me there, and I got to learn there. Got to learn the dirt roads. Took me to some stores. I got to go to the grocery store and learn what they call the layout. And you close your eyes and you listen for stuff. So on the left, I listen to the registers. On the right, I listen to the veggies and the sprayers. And then I walked the perimeter of the grocery store, and I heard the deli, and then I heard the meat department. Then I could hear the fridges when I got to the fridges on the other side. And then I heard the bathrooms in the corner, and then back to the registers again, and then till I got to the doors and I could hear the sliding doors. Then we walked the center. You got to learn the insides after that. But I did all this, just in case. You never know, because you got to remember, we have eye conditions, but your eye condition can always worsen, okay? And I'm not being negative. I'm just telling you the reality. Most eye conditions we have do get worse. And if there's something that doesn't get worse, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You could get another eye condition on top of that. Now, these are just the realities we got to look at. Again, I'm not trying to be negative. It's just, that's life, right? We get older, and as we get older, more conditions come. So just because you got one eye condition doesn't mean you can't get another one. So you got to look at it in that basis. So the sooner you get these trainings done in your life, so whether you just started losing vision, you still have some left, I mean, that's even better because you have a better chance of being better if you lose all of it down the road, like me. That's what I'm doing. I don't know if I'll lose all my vision down the road, but I don't even have a diagnosis, and who knows what's going to be 2 weeks from now. I have no clue. I'm trying to get as much training now as possible just in case, and be ahead of the game. So they did all these sessions with me. I loved it. They came to my house and picked me up for the mobility training and took me places. I just thought that was absolutely amazing. But then the funds got stopped. This is what else they did for me. They introduced me to another association, like a Department of Education in New Hampshire, and they put me on a list to help me get devices for work. And then also, until I get a diagnosis and I'm ready to work, they are also trying to get me more occupational therapy and more mobility training. And I said, yes, please, because I am all for that. But they are going to pay for it for me. It took 8 months, and it was a waiting list. It was a long time to wait, yes. But you know what? Everything works out in the end. And I'd rather wait 8 months and get it for free than never get it at all. So they introduced me to that. They also introduced me to a volunteer driving program. It's an assisted driving program. I applied for that, and it got me free car rides. Well, you donate. It's like $2 a ride. You donate. but they're awesome, and they pick you up at your house, and they'll take me. Now, where I live, I have no cab services. I have no Lyft drivers, no bus services, none of that, okay? If I need to go to the corner store, it's an hour and a half easily just to walk. So if I need to go to the nearest grocery store, it's like 35 to 40-minute drive. So I have these dilemmas ahead of me. So getting a ride, I have to depend on my wife solely, and she works. So these, Association for the Blind meetings and stuff like that, they're all during the day when she's working, and she can't just stop work for me. Plus, we have a daughter who's 3, and I got to take care of her as well, and stuff like that. So this volunteer program picks me up only twice in a week, and it's only for groceries or doctor's appointments, but they're nice enough to look over that and take me to my peer support groups, which the Association for the Blind supplied for me. So now the Association for the Blind entered me into meetings. So one's a peer support once a month, and another one is a tech group once a month. And I absolutely love them. I met so many people that are just like me, all sorts of eye conditions. And that's when you're going to start learning the reality that you could have more than one eye issue. So, because some of them do. And, but I get to go meet so many new people. They're actually in April. They're sending me for free at a hotel for, it's $20. I mean, technically it's free. So you pay $20. They put you up in a hotel. You can do all these fun activities. They even go kayaking or canoeing. They go and you sit next to a fire and play the guitar and sing. And just, I don't know, it's just cool. And I hear all these cool stories. Can't wait to go. But I get to hear people's stories, and it makes me feel better about my story. And then it makes me feel better even when I can tell my story and get all those emotions out. But it's not all mopey. I mean, only once I could say the first one, and that was me trying to tell my story and me getting a little hiccuped, but I manned up and I didn't cry. But still, that was the only mopey time. I was afraid it was going to be a mopey thing, but it wasn't. Everybody laughs. They can't believe how many people are positive in the visually impaired and blind community. So many positive people. I have one guy in my group that is completely blind, sees nothing. It's like looking out of your elbow. Can you see out of your elbow? No. He had that vision. So 8 weeks after he became visually impaired, he gave himself a challenge and he painted his whole entire house. No joke. But he came up with smart thinking. You put eye hooks on the top of the house, tied a string with a weight, and then went down, and he tied another eye hook, or a screw, and he tied the string in 3-foot intervals, and he painted in 3-foot intervals all the way till he got to the other side of the house, and the house was painted. If that's not inspiration, I don't know what is. Amazing. But anyway, so I got to do all those things, and I'm telling you guys, don't be afraid to ask for help. The Association for the Blind is absolutely phenomenal. They, just choking my spit here. They've done so much, and I'm so incredibly grateful. And I don't know, if I ever became a multimillionaire down the road, you'd be for sure they're getting my donations, okay? So that's this video. I hope I didn't leave anything out. I don't think I did. I did want to add, the volunteer program can't always pick me up, but when they can't, the Association for the Blind, that is non-profit, remember, will send a cab to come get me from the city that they're in, which is almost 45 minutes away. That cost them almost $100 to pick me up and take me to a group for 3 hours at a time. And that's to pick me up and take me back home. That's caring in my eyes. That's caring about people. So don't be afraid to call the Association for the Blind. If for some odd reason you have a hard time getting in or in touch with them, because I've been hearing from a lot of people in comments and everything saying they've tried contacting, but they never get a call back, this and that. You got to put the pressure on them, okay? Because they have funds that they are trying to spread, but sometimes there's a wait list and sometimes they are overwhelmed, but sometimes it's just maybe you're calling the wrong number or you're just not trying hard enough. So you gotta put yourself in there. Nag, get yourself in there. Tell them you're interested. Don't quit. Okay? But this is Vinny Grasso. I hope you loved this episode because I love talking about it and bragging about the Association for the Blind. Every state has one. It might not be an association, it might be a group, but every state has something. Look into it. Go to your human resources department. Contact anybody that's got to do with the government. Even go with their town clerk's office. Somebody's going to know some information for you. And if not, there's always Google. Click the subscribe button. Ring the bell if you like the video and you want more. Hit the like button if you like the video. And please, people, comment. Okay? I love reading them. I love listening to them. I love replying to them. And you guys are just phenomenal. I love the support. And I love commenting back. And I love making new friends. I love you all. Have a good day. Till the next video.